Hi, everyone. My name is Jodlowska, and I am the Executive Director of the Python Software Foundation. On behalf of the PSF Board and the PSF staff, I want to say thank you to the PyCon 2020 online presenters, sponsors, and participants. The PSF is a nonprofit behind the Python programming language and its community. Some of the things we do include holding the community trademarks, giving community grants, supporting community infrastructure, and most importantly to this discussion, we produce PyCon US with the help of dozens of volunteers. Let's look at the PSF's financial state through sort of a timeline approach because it has changed drastically from the time we canceled PyCon in March to today, May 12th. But let's actually start in 2009. Since 2009, the PSF has been working on establishing a financial reserve. Its largest revenue stream is dependent on PyCon being a successful event. The PSF experienced firsthand how an economical challenge can impact its financial health. When the market crash of 2008 happened, the PSF was extremely close to losing all of its funding because PyCon US 2009 didn't go as planned. I'm grateful that since that time, we have strategically planned for times like this. The PSF's goal is to have 1.5 years worth of expenses in our financial reserve at all times. Okay, so back to 2020. As we prepared to cancel the event in March of this year, we estimated our expected expenses for this year to be almost $1.5 million. This includes payroll, insurance, PyCon online expenses, claimed PyCon financial aid, filing PyLadies trademarks, and general overhead costs. Taking into account reduced donations and foundation sponsorships for this year, in March we estimated that we would need to use a substantial amount of that financial reserve that we've been saving up all these years, around $627,000. Since March, our team has worked hard and put together PyCon US 2020 online. Over the course of a month, we worked with presenters and volunteers to deliver as many PyCon events as possible. We are so grateful that so many collaborated with us. We had dozens of talks, tutorials, and even several events that were live, such as the Education Summit, Language Summit, and several hatchery events. Thanks to PyCon 2020 online, we were able to convert some of our sponsorships to digital options and recover some of that revenue. Additionally, hundreds of attendees converted their PyCon 2020 registration fees to PSF donations. In this image, we see all the first names of attendees that converted some or all of their registration fees to donations. Thank you to each and every one of you. Because of these sponsors and donors, we lowered our financial reserve usage to approximately $70,000. We experienced tremendous support from our community throughout April. The PSF staff and directors are speechless from the generosity that our community has shown. More recently, we received support through the Payment Protection Plan grant, and we're super pleased to know that we do not expect to use any funds from our financial reserve this year. It is important to note that this is all projected based on past financials, so things can still change for us. Even though it looks like we will break even this year, we are experiencing a setback. We have planned several initiatives this year around sustainability within our community. That included providing additional core development support and hiring additional staff to help several aspects of our growth. That said, the current state of the PSF's finances is better than any of us could have hoped for. Let's continue to come together as a community. Let's get more folks involved and more organizations supporting our mission. Through these efforts, I believe we will be back on track soon. I've listed here some ways everyone can help and join our community. I've also created a full page of ways someone can get involved. I strongly recommend everyone take a minute or two to browse through this highlighted bit.ly link. Now let's pivot to a more exciting topic and give some recognition to community members. Community service awards are given out quarterly, usually to 2 Pythonistas at a time. These awards are a way for the PSF to offer recognition for the tremendous time and effort contributed by volunteers that help strengthen and improve our community. Usually at PyCon, I would have gotten on stage and had these great people on stage with me and awarded them physical awards. Unfortunately, that's not the case, but I'd still like to highlight who they were. The most recent awards went to Deborah, Mark, Manny, Katie, Lillian, Jessica, Felipe, and Chris. Let's give them a huge virtual applause for everything that they do for our community. And I'll be sure to bring them up on stage in 2021. Now more than ever, we need to lift one another up and recognize volunteer efforts. There are so many awesome contributors in our community, and this is a great way to recognize their work. If you would like to nominate someone for future community service awards, please send your nomination to this email address, psf@python.org. That's a wrap, not just for my presentation, but also for PyCon US Online. Thank you all for participating in this year's PyCon and adapting with us these past few months. Circumstances brought us together in different ways this year, and I'm happy to see the positive vibes from so many community members. Stay strong, safe, and healthy. See y'all in 2021 in Pittsburgh.